AJ's a big puncher. He's got the power to knock anyone out.
Well, technically, all his punches are like nearly perfect.
His Joshua hits a lot harder than Tyson Fury, and I think Ngannou knows that.
Yeah, I think Ngannou did well. He's shown his first one. He's got potential.
If he wants to do boxing, go and get a promoter and start having some fights.
Well, he can take his time now and train and focus, and he's still got his UFC fights.
Yeah, I feel sorry for Ngannou.
Well, I think he started quite well.
Ngannou, it was his second boxing fight.
Welcome back to BoxCast, and in today's episode we're going to be discussing some knockout chaos.
With chaos.
Simon.
Bill.
So, there was the fight between Anthony Joshua, AJ, and Francis Ngannou, which we've done a few videos about and we've had quite a lot of comments about. Wasn't very long, was it, Simon? But we did get some knockout chaos, and it was a bit of a wow knockout. What do you think?
It's what should have happened, I think, really, shouldn't it? It's what should have happened.
It's what should have happened in the first fight, probably.
Yeah, with Fury and Ngannou. I feel sorry for Ngannou. I do. He's dared to dream, and he's come up short. I knew after 20 seconds he's going to get knocked out just because of his stance and the way where he had his hands. I thought.
Well, I think he started quite well, and he was probably doing better in the first bit. But as soon as he switched to southpaw, that's it. Yeah. Then he was basically knocked down the first time.
Like I say, when he was pouring Joshua's jab to pour it down, I just thought he's so open to that right hand.
Well, it worked, but the problem is AJ adjusted. And then he used this feint, so the feint of the jab, and read what he was doing and just opened up. Yeah, basically just set up the straight right hand.
Yeah, AJ's timing was superb. I mean, but that last right hand he threw, Jesus Christ.
I think what it is like it's the difference between an MMA and a boxer. It's the timing.
Yes, the timing.
It was a perfect straight right hand.
Yeah, and let's not get carried
hit
away.
Perfectly on target.
Everyone's, AJ's back, but AJ's never been away. He's just gone away and improved.
Well, I think he's taken a little bit of time, but I think he's back into. I think we had a little conversation. It's not the old AJ; it's the real AJ.
Yeah, I think he's improved.
He's got his confidence back, and he's improved his boxing skills. Yeah. He's just tweaked a few little things. Yeah. Probably a little bit with the various trainers he's had. They've tweaked little things, and he's taken it on board now and sort of got it into his own style.
But let's not forget Ngannou. It was his second boxing fight.
Yeah.
I think we all got a little bit hyped up about him against Fury because he did well.
Yeah.
But realistically, would he beat any top 10 heavyweight in the boxing world? I don't think he would.
Well, the thing is now he's been shown up a little bit. If he catches him, like if he'd have caught AJ, it's all over as well. It'd be the opposite way round.
If he,
and we would have been saying, wow.
And that's the thing, if he catches him. But you can't get... What I mean by getting carried away is AJ... I think I predicted an AJ shutout points win. But let's be honest, this is what AJ should have done to someone coming into his sport.
Well, the thing is, but I think the thing is, if you're going into it sensibly, when the other guy's got knockout power, so like in heavyweight, the thing is both of them have got knockout power. I think AJ's just, because he's had the opportunity, I don't think he went in to do that. He just had the opportunity. He just thought he noticed his, he worked him out because he had his left hand low and he was pouring, which is what they do in MMA. Is because there's kicks and stuff, you're taught to block with knocking it out the way rather than movement so much. And then in boxing, he's read it. He's just, you can see him doing it a few times because he doesn't catch him with the right hand a few times. But then he just feints with the jab, and you can see Ngannou does the same thing. And you see him do it a few times. And then and when he switched stance, it obviously makes it worse because he's perfectly lined up for it. And AJ just read him and hit him.
Yeah.
Boxing IQ. I think it's experience.
AJ has got a good boxing IQ. And like I say, they'd have worked out a game plan. Ben Davidson had saw that straight away, told AJ what to look for.
And I think the other thing is against Fury, because it was his first one, he was far more cautious. expecting, I think, Fury to do more. And I think Fury's done him because Fury didn't perform. I think more because he didn't take it seriously. And he's a different type of boxer.
Yeah.
And Fury sort of did cautiously. He hasn't. He's been a bit like more confident, shall we say, in this fight, where he's tried to box a bit more. Like from the beginning, he wasn't really cautious, but he's been open, and AJ's just set him up and then taken him out. And I mean, 3 really good right hands. Although the first or the second one wasn't completely clean, but he was still dazed, and the third one was like
it was a right hook, wasn't it? The caught his shoulder and then hit his chin. But like I say, after 20 seconds, I thought, yeah, AJ's going. I mean, there was question marks on whether AJ could knock Ngannou out. I think we said last time we spoke, AJ's a big puncher. He's got the power to knock anyone out.
Well, I think we also said he's clean in all his punches. All his punches are like nearly perfect. You know, I think there's more technically skilled boxers. You know, and the one I'm a fanboy of is way more skillful, but in terms of how clean his punches are, because Fury's punches aren't that clean. He's sort of got his awkward style, which, you know, I think helps him in some fights. But Joshua's like, it's been like a machine clean. Every punch is like, you know, a picture book.
Perfect. Yeah, he doesn't really waste punches anymore, Joshua, does he?
Well, I think that's where he's got better. He doesn't swing like wildly. That's where he's evolved, I think.
Yeah, well, what was interesting is
so he doesn't gas out as quickly because he doesn't waste his energy.
In one of his interviews, he said, you know, the AJ of old it'd have been a street fight. It'd have gone toe to toe.
Wins.
He said, so that's why he knows he is learning, because the AJ of old, I think, would have had a let's stand in the middle of the ring and
go for it.
He keeps doing what he's doing. Like you say, he's starting to figure out. The past few fights I've seen him, he's figuring boxers out.
Well, he's not rushing.
He's laying traps as well. His timing's becoming beautiful. His power seems to have gone up, though.
I don't think it's power. I think it's the timing and the accuracy has gone better. Whereas before, if you see some of his punches, because he's got the power, I think he's not as cleanly hitting. I think that was a really clean hit.
But what he's doing now is he used to stop the jab, and his hook, he used to stop it.
His jab's got better.
Following through with it, and he's stepping in with it. I think that's where his power's coming from.
It's because he set it up, and I think it's his technique and his. But his punch has always been clean. I think he's got a bit more confidence of getting, like, he doesn't rush, like go for the street fight. It's more like he's gone, he's set it up. It's more thought behind it.
Yeah, well, I mean, after the first knockdown, I went, don't rush in. Don't go and finish him off.
But you didn't?
Because I thought, don't go and rush in, please, don't rush in. And you could tell this is where AJ has learned. No, just... it'll come.
No, well, he didn't rush in. He just carried on. That's why I think the game plan was just to go out.
I think after the second one, he knew.
Oh, no, you could see he was still buzzed. That's why I said to you,
I'm going to throw that
right
hand. I mean, and that right hand...
was halfway out.
I mean, that would have knocked anyone out. I thought Ngannou snapped his leg after the way he felt.
Well, as he said, he never felt it. He's not felt.
Which is good, you know, because knockouts
it was a
don't
concern
hurt.
because he's a nice guy, so you want him to do well. He didn't want him to be hurt. And I think it's good that he's recovered, although... in his like the earlier interviews, I don't know if you've seen, he still looks dazed. Like, what the hell?
Yeah, I mean, I think straight after the fight, Joshua went over to him, was saying, you know, don't give up boxing. You're a massive inspiration. I want to help with your foundations. And then I think you could see Joshua looking at him, going, "Yeah, you're not here, are you, mate? I'll talk to you later." So obviously, it was a big, you know. Was a big knockout.
3 big punches, isn't it?
Yeah.
So he was dazed from the second one, and he still, the third one just completed
the doctors were in the ring straight away, oxygen on, and you can always...
It's good that he's okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully he will be fully recovered.
And, you know, I don't think he should give up on his... But, you know, if he wants to carry on boxing, don't give up on boxing. At the end of the day, you fought arguably 2 of the 3 best heavyweights in the world in your first 2 fights.
Yeah.
And the first fight you had... he gave Tyson Fury kittens, and I had it that he won the fight.
Well, I didn't win it as well. I think AJ said the same thing.
Yeah, I think AJ said, you know, he should be WBC champion. I think if he wants to Ngannou do boxing then he's got to do it the old-fashioned way. So you start at the bottom and you work your way up. He can be slightly fast-tracked because obviously he does have boxing skills, all right? He's got knockout power. So get him in with some fighters.
Well, the thing is this now, he's earned his money. Like, if you look at what he's earning in UFC, he says nothing.
You know,
now he's got good money to where he can take
million.
his time. But he can take his time now and train and focus. And he's still got his UFC fights as well.
And
or whichever one he's doing.
I think he need get a promote. If he wants to do boxing, go and get a promoter and start having some fights against good seasoned boxers, and then work your way up. You know, I heard His Highness, as I like to call him, go straight in the ring. And I think he said, "Oh, Tyson next to Ngannou." I'm just thinking, no. He already said, "Oh, we'll get you Tyson." I'm just no. Let him have a couple of fights. I tell you, it'd be a good fight for him. Someone like a Dillian White or a Joe Joyce. Or maybe even go a little bit lower in the rankings. Get him some warm-up fights. Get him a bit of confidence, a little bit of boxing skill.
Well, I think he needs to win one.
Yeah, like I said, it's not just that. He needs, he needs to go and fight southpaws. He needs to go and fight counter punches. He needs to go and fight what I call phone box fighters that just stand there and trade. He needs to fight all them. And this is where, the likes of Fury and AJ and Usyk and all them, they've been through that in their earlier careers. That's why it's called matchmaking. You pick the perfect matches. You give them southpaws. You give them long-rangey fighters. You give them short, fast fighters. He hasn't experienced any of that. And I would like to see him pick up a boxing career. I mean, I'm not a fan of UFC. I can't stand it. So, yeah, bring him over and I think he can make a big impact. I
think he's already made a big impact.
But he's always going to draw numbers.
Yeah.
He's always going to draw numbers. So he's a promoter's dream.
Yeah.
He's a really likable fella. But yeah, I want to see him in with. I want to see him take a boxing career seriously, get a really good promoter, and start at the bottom, work your way up. If you want it, you'll do it.
Yeah, it's up to him if he wants to.
Yeah,
I think that's days now of it and give him a bit of a shock. But once he recovers from the
but who knows?
shock,
How old's Francis Ngannou?
He's about 30 something as well. Isn't he? He's not young, but he's not as old.
But
as
like I say, he can be fast tracked because he does have a fighting background, if you like. He has got skills. He's got power in abundance. We know that.
Well, he nearly caught him. There's a bit where he brushes AJ. Luckily, AJ's moved much, where he just brushed. If he'd have caught him on the chin then, because he tried the same trick that he tried with Fury when he was stepping in to counter punch with the left hook. And that's why his hand pulled the jabs and stuff. But the problem is he was opening himself up and AJ's read him. Yeah. Can happen. Either of them could have won. If he catches AJ with that first left hook, it's game over. I think it's either way.
I just think
it'd have been the same. Yeah. It'd been the same result the other way around. I mean, so I think a little bit you got to remember in these things, it not get too hyped up on it. Yeah, AJ did what he should have done. What anybody should have done to somebody else stepping into your sport in the second professional fight.
I mean,
so you can't take any way
order
away
is
from
restored, isn't it?
I think that's why a lot of the boxers are happy and they're like, you shouldn't be in there. Yeah, you should be in there. I think Ngannou did well. He's shown his first one. He's got potential. This fight, he never really got going. So like he said, I don't know what AJ is in there. And it's also about like styles, isn't it? Sometimes the type of fighter they are, they make the difference.
Styles do make fights. I mean, I don't think anyone... I mean, there were a few people, as we got closer, were saying, oh, Joshua was going to knock him out. But before that, everyone was thinking, Ngannou's this. I mean, me too. I think you were a little bit.
But we said the same.
He's a breeze block and you can't knock him out. But like I say, the more I was thinking about it.
Well, we said that about Joe Joyce and Zhang showed us different. So...
In the heavyweight division, anyone can be knocked out.
Yeah. It's how clean your punches are, and that's the thing. It's not necessarily just power; it's the cleanliness of the punch. Like the UFC fighters have got loads of power, but you've got to hit clean. And you look at some of the smaller ones, the likes of Terence Crawford and Inoue, and that it's not just raw power. It's the cleanse.
timing.
It's how how well timed and how accurate the punches are. Even Usyk, he wears you down. It's not about one punch power. But he's so accurate, and it's like ding, 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 ding. You're gonna have trouble. But I'd be more positive. I think he beats a lot of those like Dillian White, Joe Joyce, and people like that. I think he's probably with sorting out his defense now, because obviously people are going to see that the hand was low and the things, and he's reacting a bit too much to the feints, which he didn't do as much against Fury, because he was backing off a bit more. He was more cautious. Here he's tried to.
Yeah,
I think everybody's believed the hype that Joshua isn't as good a boxer.
No,
I think was a fallacy, and he's been.
I think the reason he's
like, confident
more reacting to the feints is Joshua hits a lot harder than Tyson Fury, and I think Ngannou knows that.
Well, like I said, he's clean on the punches.
Yeah.
His timing and cleanliness of the punches better.
And I don't think. I think that's the difference. Is that Joshua's power has got a lot more respect
faster than because Fury, even like they got against Wilder, but people like, oh yeah, Wilder's tall, but he's only like, he's basically lighter than Usyk.
12
I think.
stone.
yeah, he's only 210 to 15 pounds, which is like 15
like
and a bit stone, 15 and a half. He's the same as Usyk, and people say Usyk's too small, and you're like, wait a minute, just because he's 6'9",
Yeah,
No,
but I guess it was like I say, I can't get carried away. Everyone's like, "Oh, Joshua's the best heavyweight in the world." He's not, because he got beat by Usyk twice. He hasn't fought Fury. Just like I say,
he's one of the best.
Yeah, out of them three,
So
you
that's
can't say
definitely
who's the best, because they haven't all fought each other. There's only Joshua and Usyk that have fought each other. We've got Fury, Usyk coming
at the
soon.
moment, if you're being realistic, he's the third best. Because he needs to fight Fury. Well, we've always said, and I'm going to say it again, I think Joshua beats Fury.
I've always said that.
We've
I'm
had
not,
that.
and I'm not
forever.
going on.
But you're a Joshua fanboy. I'm not, so I still say that. I've said that from the beginning.
But
I think it's a style. It's the same thing.
But I always said Usyk could beat Joshua.
Yeah.
I always said that.
So.
But I've always said from years back, AJ knocks Fury out.
I think you have to take Usyk out the equation, because the thing is, he fights at the speed of like a middleweight, and it's just too much for anybody. Like any of them getting with him, even Ngannou, he just gassed them out. Like Zhang, like we're going to speak about his fight, but like it doesn't matter how big they are, unless he gets caught, which would take anybody out. I think any of them he just gasses out. I think he's going to do the same against Fury. I don't think Fury's got a good tank, but then I don't think he's got enough power to buzz him like one punch, like if Joshua would. But it's just his mental like wear down and his physical wear down. He's getting older, which might give him a chance. But like in his normal style of fighting, if Usyk's fully fit, he's too fast for any of them. You'd have to have like an upper tire or somebody else like that would be the ones who could challenge, because they're fast enough to be there, but they may not be big enough to do the thing.
We shall see.
Yeah. But that's for a chat for another video.
Yeah,
but yeah.
The heavyweight.
So I don't think it's a shame on Ngannou. It's a second professional fight, and he fought arguably two of the three best
in the world. And like I say,
and two that are his equal size. It's not like where he's been.
Fair play to him. Absolute fair play to him. He's got in the ring. He's made millions.
Well, good for him. I'm happy for him. Like I said, I know we were skeptical with the first one when Fury was having this, so I don't think we did a video on that, because it was like that's not a proper fight. Having seen it, I think he's earned it. So I'm happy for him. I hope, like I said, like you said, he continues.
Yeah, because I will watch him.
Yeah.
I will watch him, and I think a lot of other fans will watch him. But I want to see him. I don't want to see him thrown in with massive fights. Now I want to see him build as a boxer.
I think he's got the opportunity now to build. Like I said, he's earned his money, so he can afford to do the training, have the time. Yeah. But I think the other thing, and this is one we're going to touch on with Parker as well. But I think it's good that like AJ's kept busy, because I think if he's only had one fight a year, I don't think that result happens. It's because he's had his 3 or 4 fights over the last bit. And I think the biggest problem with Wilder was because he hadn't fought in 2 years.
Inactivity is most probably the worst thing a boxer can do.
Yeah. But it's how many do them. Like, all right, some have injuries and stuff, and some of them are that good that, all right, they can have enough to get it on. But like, if you've seen I don't think it's just the training and the things. I think the fact that AJ's improved so much is activity.
Yeah, because ring rust...
He's built his confidence and he hasn't got the ring rust.
Ring rust is a thing.
He was sharp straight from the beginning.
Yeah. I know, it doesn't matter whether you're in sparring and things like that. There's nothing accounts for... It's not the same thing. So staying active is a big deal. You've got to stay active. And like you say, which would bring us on to, I'd say... Parker Zhang.
Next fight. Parker, how much better is he with his activity?
If you stay active, look what happens. You know, and I'd like to see Joshua back out in June.
Well, I know they want to do he's supposed to fight the winner of Usyk and Fury, but I think it'd be good, depending on what happens in that one, that he keeps busy. I don't want him to wait just for them.
No, and I don't think he will.
And he's only had 2 rounds here, really. We're like, one round in a few seconds. He needs to have some activity.
He can go and take a little break now because, like I say, he has been a busy fighter. But yeah, I'd like to see him back out June, July, and then again November, December.
Yeah, I think 3 or 4 fights a year is enough for that because the amount of training, but like they're still active. Yeah. And it's done wonders for him. Look where he is now compared to... if we were chatting about this like last year, it wouldn't have been the same conversation.
He looks in a totally... He looks like... I'm not going to say the old AJ because... It's completely different.
Term, isn't it? Real AJ.
He looks like he's got his killer instinct back.
Yeah,
for one.
But polished.
Yeah,
it's a polished version of him.
Everyone used to say, "Oh, he's scared of throwing that right hand." He's not scared of throwing that right hand. He only throws it when he needs to.
Yeah. Well, I don't think he's ever been completely wild swinger like a certain Wilder we know. I think, and a few of the boxers. I think he's always been controlled, but I think he's got better. His timing's got that little bit better. His boxing IQ's got a little better. His footwork's got a little bit better because he was in and out quite well. Like I said, Ngannou was trying the same thing to counterpunch with his left hook, and I mean he nearly got caught a few times, but he was in and out fast enough where he was moving out the way.
The big one is Ben Davidson, I think.
Yeah, well, I think it's a couple. He's had a few of them, but I think you've also got to do there's fighters that don't take it on board, and I think you have to give some respect to AJ that he has taken it on board.
Yeah,
he's trusted them and taken it on board.
It's not just that. I mean, look at the trainers
and
he's had.
Credit to Ben Davison. So.
He's had Ben Davison, Adriel Fernandez.
Well, he shouted them all out, didn't he? Yeah, in the thing. I think he's picked up bits from all of them.
Yeah, he has, and he's gone right. I like that bit. I like that bit. I don't like that bit, but I like that bit. And there were a lot of question marks about him switching trainers all the time and things like that. I think
learn new things.
Yeah, he is, and I think he is a sponge. AJ, he will take a lot of things in.
You can see he's evolved, and like I said, currently, if you're being realistic, he's the 3rd best. Yeah, and I know Eddie Hearn got a bit excited. He was more excited than AJ and everybody else, honestly.
But that's to see. But that's what a promoter should be doing.
Yeah.
That's what a promoter should be doing.
Yeah.
Like you say, he was like a proud dad, and good on him.
Yeah.
Back you, man.
Overhyped and yeah, obviously he'll get a bit calmer once he's calmed down, but yeah, it was quite funny. It was worth seeing.
But I think...
It shows he cares.
That was just raw emotion from Eddie Hearn as well. It wasn't...
He was proper hyped up.
Yeah, and like I say, I think it's great to see. I think promoters should be like that, but... when they care about the fighters.
We've always said, and it's good to see that he's caring about his fighter. He's not the best. He isn't, not yet. He's got to do a couple of things before he's the best of the best. But obviously he's the top 3. So, and like we've said, I think he beats Fury, so I think he's top 2. Unfortunately, the one I'm a fanboy of is the number 1, and I don't think anybody.
But you can't say Usyk's number 1 though. Because he hasn't faced Fury. Like I say, that's what's exciting about the heavyweight division. There isn't a number 1.
The thing in it is any other... There's probably a few outside of that conversation that could beat them. Like Wilder on his day, if he catches you, I don't care who you are, you're lights out.
Zhang, if he catches you,
you're asleep.
Yeah. Joseph Parker.
I think now is a threat to anybody, isn't it, as well? He's improved. And that's a good step into the next fight, I think, in Zhang and Parker, which is a good fight.
It was a bit of a bore fest at times.
Yeah. Well, I think it started well because it was going to and fro a bit, and then after about halfway, and a little bit past halfway, it got a bit boring. Because I was nearly falling asleep to watch AJ.
Zhang really disappoints me,
I don't know why he didn't continue, because he could have won that fight.
I mean, the commentators, and I kind of agree with him,
Whether he's afraid of gassing out.
No, I don't think it is. He's afraid of gassing out. I think he's an arrogant with power. I think he thought after that. I think the first knockdown was the worst thing that happened to Zhang, because he was there celebrating, dancing, and I think he thought, I only have to touch him and he's gone. And that's what the whole fight, he just thought, oh, I'll get him. And I think that's what his arrogance was. Thing with Joseph Parker is you have to nail Joseph Parker to the ground for him to stay on the ground. He's got a massive heart. He will get up.
He's got a good chin as well and a massive heart. Yeah.
Constantly. And Zhang just really...
And Parker's got a good engine. He doesn't wear out because he just got better and better as the fight went on. He didn't really tire out. He didn't gas out.
Really disappointed me. Really disappointed me.
Well, yeah, you could be right on that, isn't it? Because the thing is, the opportunity was there for him to win. Once he got 2 knockdowns, he should have been on it. Like,
he only has to win 2 rounds.
And he's won the fight. And he just took his... I don't know whether he took his foot off the pedal or whether he was afraid of gassing out or whether he's just...
And at the end of the fight, he's throwing his hands in the air. Mate, you lost the fight. He lost the fight.
It's 8-4, wasn't it? At least in
Joseph,
rounds, probably realistic scoring.
The way I put it...
So he's lost by 2 rounds.
I know this sounds crazy, is Joseph Parker didn't win the fight. Zhang lost the fight.
Yeah, I think so.
Because, like I say, and it might sound a weird statement to people. Don't get me wrong, Joseph. I'm a massive fan of Joseph Parker. He did exactly what he had to do. He didn't panic when he got knocked down. Game plan
and delivered.
Yeah, and he did everything great. But all Zhang had to do was throw a few punches. I mean,
he timed him. He could have had him.
I mean, was the one round where they said he threw 3 punches in one round?
Yeah.
Mate, you're not gonna.
Well, I think Parker had about twice as many punches and landing.
And when Parker puts his combinations together, he looks fast and really, really good.
His movement in and out, his footwork and his punching combinations are really, really good. That's how he got him, because he's put 2 or 3 together. It was 2 or 3 moments and then 2 or 3 punches. So you're 10 punches up there.
What shocked me was how much bigger Zhang was than Parker.
Yeah.
That really shocked me.
Well, he was 290 pounds.
Yeah, but I think that
makes Fury look small.
That could be the end for Zhang, though.
He is quite old as well.
40 years of age.
Well, the thing is, if it was just the arrogance of, like, I've got the power and that's why he's held back, then I think he can return and do it, because it's a rematch thing, isn't it, close, I think.
Yeah.
Parker said. Now, if it was that, then it could be a good fight, because then I think Parker will come out, and if he fires, he's got a good chance of winning. The problem is, if he's afraid of gassing, you're only going to get older. You ain't going to be younger than what you are now. Then I think Parker takes him. Again, it'll be the same sort of thing.
Problem is I think the next fight will be even more boring.
Well, he can't make it that. Parker can. I don't think Zhang has to go for it.
Yeah, but I think that this is what will happen, is Parker will treat it like the Wilder fight. Right.
But he did open up in that.
In, out. Yeah, but I don't... I mean, I've seen... we talk about Ngannou's head. Have you seen the size of Zhang's head? Yeah, it's massive.
Everything about him is big, though. He's quite...
I know Parker was going... I mean, he got warned for going below the belt, and I think that stopped him going to the body. I'd have worked the body a lot more on Zhang.
Well, he started well, didn't he, at the beginning, going to the body, and then when he got warned a bit, then he stopped.
Yeah.
Then he went a bit headhunting, which I don't think was that great, but he was scoring points, even though he wasn't really landing cleanly. I don't think he really hurt Zhang a bit, although he was getting a little bit of a mark under his cheek.
I think Zhang gassed out when he was doing his little dance after the first knockdown.
I can't argue with that. I think he had a little... when he got his second wind, when he got the second knockdown, that's it, then it was gone.
It was just like...
Well, that's the problem. If that is true, that he gassed out, then or he was afraid of gassing out,
I think it's like
then he hasn't got a chance in a rematch.
Like you say, I think it was the worst thing that happened to him, knocking him down like that. Because I think he just thought, right, I only have to touch you, and
but you could see that Parker wasn't like buzzed. It was just a shock knockdown, but he wasn't really like he never really, his legs were always
Zhang
there.
Didn't see that. Zhang just thought.
Well, he turned around and started dancing, which didn't help. He should have been watching his opponent.
Zhang's just thought, right, I only have to touch you, and I've won this. Yeah. And that's all he was relying on. And don't get me wrong, it wasn't even a big punch that.
So do you think that's his corner not telling him properly, or is it him not listening, or a combination of the two? Because shouldn't his corner go, mate, you need to do a bit. I think they did say in one of them when they were translating that he needs to do some work. You need to do some work.
But that was in like the 10th or the 11th round.
You should have been telling him that like 6 or 7.
There was no urgency in his corner.
Well, they only translated it once, so we don't know. They may have been telling him, but he hasn't done it, or he couldn't because Parker was
I just found him really frustrating. It was a bit like you were waiting for him to throw that punch to knock Parker out, and.
But you know the type of fighter Parker is. You ain't going to go like... Well, he should have seen that from his first 2 knockdowns. That he wasn't really like if you look at like the first fight, Ngannou was buzzed from all those punches. And like, the third one was super clean, but the other 2 weren't that clean. Although he's off balance and he was lunging in a bit. That's why he's got caught. But you look at Parker's one, he was like, you get the knockdown, but he was more like, he was ready to go. You could see the eyes were clear. He wasn't in a state... Yeah, you're going to take more than one punch.
But Zhang wasn't even trying to set anything up.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm trying to get to. Is like you need to combat. Because like against Joyce, he had good combinations. Or like Joyce doesn't move, but that's a separate issue. But he was catching him at the beginning of the fight, and then basically from about 6, 7, 8 onwards or whatever, about 7 or 8, when then Parker just took it away. Then he won the.
Parker seems to be getting
4 rounds or something, didn't he?
So Parker got more energy as the fight went on.
Yeah. He just kind of. Well, the last 4 rounds I gave to Parker, isn't it, all the way through?
Zhang, I don't know. I think after the Joyce stuff, but it's that classic
Joyce doesn't move
scenario. Styles make fights.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why Joyce is perfect for Zhang.
Well, no, I think Parker was just better. I think I'm the same as you, though. I'm a bit disappointed in Zhang because I think he could have. The fight was there. I think he's lost himself rather than Parker's beaten him. And nothing to take away from Parker. Parker stuck to his game plan, was exceptional in his execution.
Yeah, he was. But this is what.
But Zhang should have won.
Zhang hasn't left everything in the ring there for me.
Parker has. Zhang hasn't. And Parker, just like you said, got better as the rounds went. And he didn't, he's not, that though, he ain't going to gas out. He's always been really good in his
doesn't matter whether you're going to gas out or not,
you still got to give it a go. Parker did, and he got better and better. The same as he did against Wilder. As he got more confidence, he just got better. Because I think he realised this guy ain't going to throw more punches now, so I can do
You
what I
can't
want.
expect to throw 3 or 4 punches around and think you're going to win the fight.
Unless you're going to knock down every 3, those 3 punches, you're going to get knocked down every one.
But... like I say, even in the 12th.
He could have won it in the 12th.
And
he didn't do anything.
You're walking him down, but you're not doing anything walking him down.
You're walking down, you get hit by 1 or 2 of his punches, like a quick combo. Even if he's not hitting you cleanly, it's scoring.
Yeah. I just found
that's how he lost the last 4 rounds, basically. Parker was good in 1 or 2 of them, he stepped on it a bit. But the latter 2 rounds, he was just more like...
like you
he's
say,
thrown it away.
Yeah, they've got apparently there is a rematch clause. I was disappointed to hear that, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to see.
Well, the point of it is, if Zhang comes back and learns from it and realizes, wait a minute, and it isn't, like I said, it's not a gassing thing. He wasn't worried about gassing. It was just that he was being arrogant. Get rid of the arrogance, and he fights it like he'd started and went on it. I think he can wear Parker down.
Yeah, but
beat him.
My problem then is then it's another rematch.
Well, it probably won't be. It'll be 2, isn't it? It'll only be 2.
No, I think if Zhang wins...
Trilogy wouldn't be that bad.
It depends.
Well, the problem is then what's Parker going to improve?
That's what I mean.
Him?
This is where I think... If I'm Joe Parker, I want to move on to the next step now. All right, yeah, the belt's tied up, but there's...
Well, I think that's why they put the rematch, because they'll probably do that before.
But there is other fights out there for Joe Parker.
Well, AJ would be a good one, but I think AJ's got bigger fish to fry first. I think that'd be a fight after once we know the resolution of the belts. I think that's when that fight becomes, and really the fight everybody wants to see is Fury versus AJ. I think that's the biggest fight if you want to make a box office draw.
Maybe
the problem with Parker, he's not as big a box office draw as those lot are.
But I think Parker will learn more from the Zhang fight than Zhang will learn from that fight. Yeah. And I think. Well,
that's what I'm saying. If Zhang learns, because he wasn't really in danger at any point, he's thrown it away. That's not disrespectful to Parker. I think Parker did what he needed to, same as he did against Wilder. I think they're 2 of his best performances. coming back from the knockdowns. Because, like I said, he didn't
I
really
wouldn't
let him
say
get
there
down.
is his best performance. I'd say there is most disciplined performance.
Controlled, best controlled. I mean,
and when he throws,
controlled
and like I
performances.
say, when he throws his punches together, Parker, he looks superb.
His combos are a lot better.
Absolutely, they're fast.
Well, he's nearly the same weight, but he looks like a cruiserweight who's come up for
he
thingy.
looks a really.
But he's much more
Yeah.
thick because obviously he's 240, 250 pounds as well, isn't he? He's the right size where he can take a few punches. And even from Zhang's punches, he didn't look as injured as like Joe Joyce did. And we've always said, I think the problem with Parker is it's the same thing. He'd like AJ lost his way a little bit. Now he's got active. He's got his confidence back.
Yeah.
Because you've always thought when he was coming up, you thought he's really good. And his first fight against AJ was disappointed because he did what... Not exactly the same Zhang, but you sort of thought he didn't leave it out there. He didn't really perform to his capabilities.
And let's not forget, he's a former world champion, Parker.
Yeah.
He is a former world
that's when
champion.
how AJ got the belt off him, isn't it? So
I think Andy Lee's a good trainer for him. I like Andy Lee.
well, I think they've done sort of the same thing as Ben Davidson's done for AJ. They've got him a bit more disciplined and like stick to the game plan. And like now he's got his confidence because he's had enough fights. I mean, I haven't seen the one against Joe Joyce, but like, that's a disappointment. But since then, he's picked up all his bit of momentum.
But I think Parker as well, he can step up a gear during the fight. I think he stays disciplined then, but there's a bit more left. And I think he should take that extra gear and go for it sometimes. I think he could, and he might start getting the likes of the Wilders and his Zangs out of there. I mean, he was close to getting Wilder out of there.
Zhang, I think, is harder. Wilder is, I think, he could have had out of there. But Wilder, like I said, people don't give him his movement of his head and stuff out the way because he's so used to letting people come at him. I think he's at about 40 odd fights. Most of them, he is losing until he gets his knockout. He's got used to, because you can see a lot of them where he's just, because of his height, he can reach out the way.
I mean, it'd be interesting I'd like to know when that rematch is going to take place, whether it be June, July. Because it's not a main event.
No, it'll be
so
second
it'll be on an
something.
undercard. So that'll be interesting. And like I said, I'm going to watch it, and
it's going to be a good undercard fight. Well, the reason for watching it is you're going to see if Zhang can improve. Parker just does the same thing, and I think he'll be a little bit sharper and a little bit better and a bit of confidence now that he knows that he can. It's the question is Zhang going to be, is it a gassing out issue, or is it like the arrogance issue? One he can fix, one is a bit trickier because he's only getting older. He can't really fix the gassing out. So he either has to throw it all in the line for the first 6 rounds, go for it, and just then hope that he gets them before then. Otherwise, he's going to gas out and lose. Or
when's the Bivol fight?
June.
I wonder if it might be on the undercard of that.
They could make it there, couldn't they? It's a really good second fight.
Yeah.
It's not a first fight, but it's a really good one. Give me 1 second. I'll tell you when they are. I've got it on my list. 1st of June. That's probably about the right amount of time for them to both do it.
Wonder if they'll throw that on the undercard, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
But it's interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, Zhang for me didn't leave it all in the ring.
I think Parker was good and we're impressed with him. And I think Zhang was disappointing.
Yeah.
Considering where he was and he could have had it, I think it was disappointing.
And talking of leaving it in the ring, that moves me on to Nick Ball.
Yeah.
He left it in the ring.
That was really good. But both of them did, I think, to Vargas and him, to be fair.
Who's the winner?
Ball, I think.
Yeah, Raya Ball is the winner.
Or close. Well, I had it as just in favour, I think, by about a round or 2.
I had it by 2 rounds.
Yeah. I think that's where I had it.
Man, he just doesn't stop coming at you, Ball, does he?
Oh, he's relentless.
But
have you ever seen a fight with a height difference?
No.
Not just height, the height and body composition is so different.
Just coming on
One's like a lean
I mean, because I didn't catch the weigh-ins or anything, and I didn't really see any of the build-up to that fight, because obviously it was just...
Yeah, we were focused on the other ones.
AJ and Ngannou. And when they squared up to each other, I went...
This doesn't look right.
What the hell? 8-inch difference. And I'm going... This is a tough ask for you, little man, because you've got to punch up. You've got to try and get in close. His jab...
He's a good puncher. His combos are good.
And I was just like, wow. And then the referee wouldn't let him fight on the inside.
Well, as soon as they got him, he
at
broke
all.
it up. Yeah.
And
So
I
he
was
broke
just
his game
like,
plan.
oh, mate. And for, I'd say rounds 3, 4, 5, Nick Ball looked like he was just frustrated because he couldn't pin him down.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, no. He's just...
It's just going to be
and
frustrating out.
And I'm thinking... Yeah, you're doing the right thing, pressuring him, but it's not calculated pressure. You're not getting him where you want him to. And then he just...
But do you think, in the first bit when he was like throwing him around a little bit and that, do you think that was calculated rather than just out of frustration? Because I think they've done that on purpose.
I don't know.
A little bit of frustration. I think a little bit was calculated just to show him, wait a minute, I'm strong as well. I'm stronger than you.
I mean,
I can bully you.
He is like a little mini Mike Tyson, isn't he? He's a good, big, stocky lad. He's obviously got abundance of power.
Well, small, stocky lad.
Small,
Let's be accurate.
well, he's big that way.
Yeah, he's big. He's wider than he is tall.
Relentless. Takes a bloody good punch as well because Vargas caught him with some stingers.
Well, he tried to slow him down in the first half of the fight, really, with all the body shots. The amount of body shots he gave him, and he just took him like it was nothing.
Yeah.
I was quite impressed. I was thinking...
But again, this is what it was. He had like that Joseph Park. He seemed to get more energy as the fight was going on.
Yeah.
And it's not like he took rounds off because he was following Vargas round relentlessly.
Oh, he's hunting him down.
Even at times, running after him round the ring.
You could see Vargas wasn't happy about the pace of the fight.
No.
Really not happy about the pace of the fight. And to be fair, Vargas gave it
and I'd like to see a rematch.
Yeah, I think you can see that it was close. It wasn't like a clear victory for one or the other. So a draw isn't that unrealistic.
Vargas has been out the ring a long time.
Yeah.
So I don't think that's helped him so much. But I think the Nick Ball camp will have to come up with a better game plan. Because you can't give away the first 6 rounds of a fight. Yeah, well,
they should know now what's going to happen, isn't it?
If I scored it, the first 6 rounds to Vargas, the last 6 rounds to Nick Ball, but Nick Ball had 2 knockdowns as well. Mm-hmm. So for me, that's why.
Well, the first one I don't think is. The second one is. That's why I had it a bit
closer. Was
closer.
scored as a knockdown. A punch is landed, so you've got to score it as a knockdown.
But that's why I was like, it's 1 round, really.
So for me, Nick Ball did win.
Well, if he scored the knockdown, then I think on fairness, it's only 1 knockdown because he was pushed.
But in the judge's eyes, it's got to be called a knockdown because a punch is landed and the referee is counted. It doesn't matter whether you think it isn't. By boxing rules and laws, you've got.
But he got pushed first. It shouldn't have been ruled as a knockdown by boxing laws.
So,
but the second one was.
Second one was, definitely.
Well, that's what I'm the same agreement. I was thinking it's half and half, but he got 1 knockdown. So he's just scraped over the line and won for me, that 1 extra point. Yeah, by official scoring, it's 2 rounds. That's why I said it's 1 or 2 rounds, depending on if you take the referee.
I'd have a different referee as well, because...
I think he messed up quite a lot of stuff.
That referee, as soon as they got close... I mean, there was a time there that... I forgot what round it was. But Nick Ball hit him 3 or 4 times, and the referee went, "Whoa, stop!" As if to say, "Oh, you can't hit him." Yeah. And I was like, "What's he? Why is he stopped there? What the hell?" So I think I feel sorry. I think
that's why he gave him the knockdown to balance out his bias. The extra knockdown.
I feel sorry for him. I think he should feel a little bit aggrieved, but it's not a loss. It's a draw against a 2-weight world champion. You belong.
Well, I think it's good for, other than the disappointment on the night, I think if he gets a rematch, then it's a good result because he's, it's like you said, I think in the first few rounds, he took a while to work him out and get in his range and get into him. And I mean, even though he's relentless from basically the get-go, but he couldn't really reach him. And then Vargas would do because Vargas got really good combinations. He's like 3 or 4 punches out of nowhere and then step back.
I mean,
he needs to get a bit sharper than that. His team needs to get him on the plan.
Nick Ball belongs at world level, and he's proved that with that. What Nick Ball needs to do now with his team is work out, okay, when you're fighting, because he's going to come up against tall, rangy fighters.
Well, he's always going to be fighting against somebody tall. Not as tall, as lanky as that, but I think, he's exceptional.
He needs to learn how to calculate that pressure.
Yeah.
Control the fight a bit more. Don't just run after him in circles. Use your footwork, guide him. Guide fighters to the corners. All right. A decent referee will let you fight on the inside. So we've got to add that into it. But don't, like I say, there were times where he was just following him round too much, and I was just thinking.
Well, it was the earlier rounds.
Yeah.
Later rounds, he started catching him because he started doing that jumping in and punching up.
Yeah, but
and
he was also feinting as well. Which,
he got better, which is good. He's learned as he's gone along.
He belongs in the world.
Yeah. I think that's the best. It's all credit to him. That was a really good performance.
Obviously, he belongs in the world, but he belongs at the world class
level.
Yeah.
Which is good to see.
I think he's going to be a world champion.
I hope so.
You know,
he deserves it.
He's from across the river from us, Nick Ball.
So we're a little bit biased.
Obviously, he's made a bit of a name. I mean, because I went straight onto Facebook after that fight, and everyone was robbery. So it was nice to see that he's getting a bit of a more fan base as well. Really likable kid. I mean, he's going to have Liverpool's basically lost the Smith brothers now, haven't he? So they need.
So there's a gap.
There's
to be
a gap
filled.
there. So Liverpool will get behind this lad. And the one thing you can say about Liverpool boxing fans is when they get behind you, they are behind you.
Yeah.
So he'll get a bigger fan base. I think his next fight, I hope it's against Vargas.
Mm-hmm. He deserves a rematch.
I'd like to
a similar opportunity if it's against somebody else at the world level. He deserves a title fight.
I mean,
he earned that much.
I'd love to see him fighting over at the Liverpool Arena. I'd go and watch him.
Well, I think at the moment he'll have to go to somebody else's backyard or somewhere else. But I think
he will.
If he gets there, it'd be nice to see him as a world champion fight in the hometown.
But I think it'll be back to Saudi again for the rematch. And you did. Don't be. He shouldn't be too disheartened. He got a draw. He didn't lose.
Well, I think his side would be wanting it more. Vargas' side would be wanting it a bit less.
I understand why he's going to feel disheartened because you did win the fight, and I think the WBC will order a rematch, and I think the scores will get looked into. I mean, Frank Warren's great at
questioning
putting in appeals. But
well, it's not going to be changed because they'll do it for the rematch, isn't it? So I think, but it'll be. They should. That'll help in ordering a rematch, and that'd be a good fight.
But no,
look forward to it.
He did superb, and we didn't get the result we wanted. It's not down to him; it was down to the judges at the end of the day. He left everything in the ring. He did not stop trying, and fair play to him for that. It was like
Joseph Parker; he just got better. So the latter rounds was he was winning. So
I can't wait to watch him again. They say I haven't watched many Nick Ball fights. He's kind of like gone under the radar.
Yeah.
But he could be a little superstar. This guy. So we'll look for. He's good.
Well, he deserves a chance. It was a good fight. That was entertaining. It was quite good. So we had like the three. Like you said, Parker Zhang did get a little bit more boring.
And he's a featherweight, isn't he?
It's a featherweight one.
So,
there's a few. They're all individual, I think, in featherweight, aren't they? Or there's 1, 2, but they're. There's some interesting fights there.
Yeah, but you've got the likes of Lee Wood, Josh Warrington.
There's Vargas, and who's the other one?
There's some good British
featherweight
fights there. I mean, I think that they are talking.
They're all going to be okay until Inoue comes up.
But they're talking Lee Wood, Josh Warrington fighting next, Nick Ball to fight the winner.
He's got opportunity there. So, like I said, obviously there's disappointments on the night, but I think he can hold his head high and go. Yeah, he did. He performed at world level. He deserves his chance at world level.
I'd like to say I think he will be a world champion.
Because I don't think it was even Vargas. I mean, other than being ring rusty, Vargas did give it a good go, and he was a good fight.
Yeah.
Like his combos are really good. It's the body shots, but they just weren't having an effect against anybody else. They would have slowed them down and worn them down. He just got better. He just took them and carried on going.
No, it was.
I think he only backed off once, and that was when he was off balance.
Yeah,
the one punch. Otherwise, he just kept coming, which must be disheartening for the guy who's you're hitting him and he just keeps coming. Yeah, I think a mini Mike Tyson's a good.
Yeah, he is like a little mini Mike Tyson.
A good analogy.
He's like a mini Mike Tyson, but a Jack Russell as well.
Yeah.
Because he just will. He just comes at you constantly.
Yeah. I think that's what Vargas down a bit, and then obviously he looked a bit ring rusty after that because he just was like, "Wait a minute, it's not the pace I want to fight."
Could you imagine having someone in your face of running? I mean, and like you say, there were times where he looked like he was running at him
up to his chest
for 12 rounds.
Yeah.
And you're hitting him with bombs. And he's still, and you're not budging him.
Rounds,
you are going to be going, oh my God, this is.
What do I have to do?
That's tiring on its own.
And in the latter rounds, he started getting punches through himself, isn't he? So he started getting past. And in the first few rounds, he didn't.
He's got power.
Yeah.
He has got power.
Yeah. So yeah, I'd like to watch a rematch. I think it's good, or against one or the other. And I think, like you said, there's some good British fighters in that division. So
yeah.
Sort out, get your world titles before the monster comes.
He might
next
go
year.
on the Queensbury versus Matchroom.
Well, I think he's earned that as well. But it depends who he's going to fight.
Yeah. I don't know whether, I mean, if it was a 50-50 fight, you put like Lee Wood against Nick Ball. Mm-hmm. But I don't, like say, if Lee Wood's already fighting Josh Warrington.
Yeah, it's going to be. I think he's got a few steps. I don't think he needs to rush. He's only young, isn't he, Nick Bull? So he's got a good. He's got room to learn. Yeah, I think there's a few things he needs to learn, but yeah, it was a very good performance.
Yeah,
cool,
good on him.
So anything else on that? I think that's enough, isn't it, for the 3 fights? We got much more to say.
Yeah.
I think just
it was an enjoyable fight. Enjoyable night of boxing. There were a bit boring parts. One thing I will say.
Well, the thing is, it wouldn't have been knockout chaos until the end.
Yeah. I don't know whether there is absolutely no atmosphere in Saudi Arabia or the microphones aren't
they
picking
haven't
up.
set up the sound in the audience.
But it sounds definitely quiet in there.
Yeah.
Simon Jordan picked up on this a while back, saying, it sounded like there was no atmosphere there. I understand what he was saying. It doesn't sound like there's an atmosphere in there. But then I look at how far away the crowd is from the ring as well.
I think there's a bit of it doesn't get in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because it's only the VIP area, isn't it? It's close by the ring, and then the next one's a step back.
Even that's not close, is it?
No, it's a fair step back. It's not like in some places where they're right on the ring. It's a step back. We had a look when we were looking at some of the ticket things and arrangements for Fury Usyk. I've seen how far away it is. So if you're in like the normal seats, it's miles away.
It is far away. It's like say I don't know whether maybe if anyone was there, they can let us know. Is there a big atmosphere there, or is it is it quiet on the telly? It sounds like
it sounds quiet.
It sounds quiet. So yeah, it'd be interesting to know. Maybe we should find out ourselves when we.
Yeah, I think we need to investigate this one, Sam.
When we go there,
somebody's willing to do. And thank you for his excellency for arranging these fights. I think that's
but we've got
keep them coming.
Yeah,
we've got a fair few coming up soon.
And again, there's a lot of big fights coming up.
Yeah.
Which we won't go into now, but it seems they're making these big fights now. Other promotion.
Well, I think
that's not in Saudi Arabia either, but in the UK and America. And I think because they realised we have to. Yeah,
well, it's what we said, isn't it? It could be a good thing or a bad thing. At the moment, it's a good thing. Yeah. It needs to happen.
So, yeah, I can't wait.
We've got some good content, hopefully.
Massive fights coming up.
Yeah. And enjoy, hopefully.
So, yeah, subscribe to the channel.
Yeah. Like, dislike, whatever you want to do.
Leave some comments.
Especially about the atmosphere, if you can, and what you think of the 3 fights we've discussed.
And we do read all the comments because we have a little bit of a laugh about them.
We enjoy the comments.
Yeah, and we do.
And obviously we can give a shout out to some of them, so we use them to make to improve our content.
And we do we like to hear other people's views. Because everyone's got an opinion, so we'd like to hear it.
Yeah, and it helps us improve our channel, and it helps us make better content for you guys and gals.
So yeah, all you Ngannou fans out there that thought he was going to...
Don't be too disheartened.
Let us know what you...
Let us know what you think
Ngannou should do next. Should he go back to the UFC? Me personally, I don't think he should. I think he should take a boxing career up properly.
I think there's enough there and potential that he can
So
do something good.
let us know.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you in the next one.
Closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.